I ran multi-million dollar brands. The need for cultural representation is so acute. He knew exactly what I was getting the award for. Our cultural programming is really robust. I think America is ready for us.
All right, hi everyone. My name is Devil. I'm one of the hosts for Distash. Today we have the honor of having Anu, who's the founder of Culture Tree, on with us. Anu, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you so much. Namaste, everyone.
Telling us a little bit about yourself and your background, and just how Culture Tree got started.
I grew up in India. I was born in Delhi, grew up in India, and I've spent more time now in America than India, but I'm not going to give my age. So I grew up in the north, in a town called Meerut, and the reason I'm talking about my upbringing is because it was very formative to what I'm doing now. So we are kind of coming full circle.
Sure.
So my mother is Muslim, my father is Hindu, and in those days when my parents met, it was a very controversial marriage, and it has been very formative in my belief system and what I have done with the Culture Tree. My father was in the Indian Army. My mother is a doctor. She's a gynecologist. So again, the upbringing was more about getting educated, very secular, very tolerant, not specifically gravitating towards religions, but humanity in all, and just doing good around you, making things better, making your community, pulling up your community, and just working hard, that kind of mindset.
That's beautiful.
I moved to the US primarily, the typical immigrant journey, to pursue my higher education. And I worked in finance for a little bit once I moved to the US, and then I actually did 1 year of undergrad at Rutgers also. And then
Nice.
got my MBA in marketing and brand management because in finance, I was running quantitative models, and I was behind the screen and on Excel files all the time, and that's not my personality. I'm creative and I'm very social. I like to talk to people. I'm very curious. So anyways, that had to happen.
Of course.
I got my MBA from Yale University, and I focused on marketing and brand management. And after business school, I actually worked in brand management, product development. And, it was amazing. In brand management, it's almost like being an entrepreneur. You are working on different aspects of a brand, and you basically are dealing with all the cross-functional teams. You are very creative. The creativity comes out because of your campaign with advertising agencies. So I had an amazing time. I worked at Mattel, the toy company, and then I worked at Colgate Palmolive. And there I ran multi-million dollar brands. I got a very hardcore training in marketing, research, and brand management. And once I had my kids, my mind shift changed. So when I had immigrated to America, the mindset was more about, assimilating and just fitting in, changing my accent, and all that, and letting go of my heritage culture.
Sure.
So once I became a parent, I really found this urgent need for my children to connect with their heritage culture. And I have 2 boys, so they were not gravitating towards dances, Bollywood dances, classical dances. They were not gravitating towards classical music from India or instruments. So language was the third thing that I was like, okay, let me try language. So that plus, as a parent, I was, my mind shift had changed. The way I was interacting with Indian culture in New York City, which it is omnipresent. It is there in museums and libraries. There is a huge representation.
Food,
the representation towards children is very, firstly, it's half-baked and it's very
Sure.
one-dimensional. And
Sure.
children thrive in a different type of environment. If they're going to an exhibit, say at Met, and they are not doing the touching and feeling or immersing themselves, they are not going to learn.
Sure.
And for children, the second-gen children of immigrant parents, there is even a more important need for them to assimilate, to really gravitate towards their heritage cultures in a much more natural way.
Absolutely.
So that was the other problem I was seeing. So two-pronged issues, and I put on my entrepreneur marketing business school hat, and I was like, this is a white space, this is a problem, and there has to be a solution. And the other thing that I started seeing was that there are a lot of institutions, cultural institutions. However, the institutions that were targeting or focusing on children from South Asian cultural standpoint was very fragmented, and it still is very fragmented. So that was the other thing that I brought together. So real reason for starting my company was, my own personal need for my children. And then I started noticing that, this was an omnipresent feeling that parents had, and especially
Absolutely.
from South Asia.
Absolutely.
And not, like parents switch, like even we see Pakistani parents in an Indian celebration, because our cultures are quite similar. There are differences, but there are
Yes.
and similarities also in the value system.
Yep.
So that has been my trajectory. A lot of self-discovery, a lot of thinking through what is going on around us and how do we make the difference. And then the other thing that happened was really like in my career, I had reached a point when I wanted to become an entrepreneur, do something on my own, and also give back. Giving back to the society around us was really important. And I feel now I'm able to balance everything for myself personally and then also professionally.
As you mentioned, you work with cities and schools and museums. Have you had any pushback from any of these types of organizations as you try to bring South Asian culture to the masses?
Oh, no, it's completely the opposite. I feel
Okay.
there is such a need, and maybe it is now, like the need for cultural representation is so acute. And,
Yeah.
there is just so much we can do. Like I literally don't have enough time and resources to do enough, because there is a huge demand. And, it might be because of the way our American culture and society is trending, and especially I think after George Floyd, we did see an uptake, a big
Absolutely.
uptake. And that's not just for my organization, but DEI efforts. And the other thing that, initially I used to find very problematic was, this is before I had my organization, was that the representation of Indian culture or South Asian cultures was, as I mentioned, very one-dimensional.
Sure.
So, my approach has been that I tell my clients, this is your need. First of all, I think it's very important to understand your clients, which is these organizations' needs, because all of them are different. And then coming up with a solution that works for them. And, once you explain it to them, it's amazing. I enjoy working with my clients, and my clients have persisted for so many years.
Sure.
So I think there is such a demand, there's such a need. And I think finally, all these institutions are understanding how important it is to have authentic representation.
Sure.
And they have been, like, I'm sure budgeting is always an issue, but wherever there is a chance, they do try to bring in authentic, I call them cultural ambassadors.
Of course.
And also, it's also much more easier for them when they bring in the cultural representation.
Correct. That's wonderful.
I think America is ready for us.
I love it. I think we're ready to see more of it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Now, you recently got an award from NYC Mayor Eric Adams.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that and how it felt getting that distinction from him?
Yeah, it felt so good. I think it's the biggest award I got. So I do work with the mayor's office. I've worked with them for now 5 or 6 years, and they have recognized my organization pretty much every year. There's some recognition, there's some award ceremony, but not from the mayor. So this actually came about because I received an award from Society of Foreign Councils the beginning of last year, and each of the consulate in New York City, they nominate or they select one person from their country who gets an award for Women's History Month, and I was the awardee for India, and that was also a really big recognition. So once I was recognized by the Society of Foreign Councils, I was in news articles, and that's when the mayor's office that already knew about Culture Tree, they took an interest, and they actually they connected with the Indian consulate, and then that's when they said, yes, we are going to nominate Anu to get this award. It was for the AAPI month, and it was at Mayor Eric Adams' beautiful home, Gracie Mansion. There were 6 awardees. I was the only one from South Asia, which was very special. And
amazing.
I think the most special moment was when the mayor came in and all of us awardees were sitting, and he shook our hands, and he knew exactly what I was getting the award for, which was just like, I was like, oh my God, this is, taking time to understand what each person is getting an award for is for a mayor of a city like New York City.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really amazing. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Congratulations again on that.
Yeah. And that was primarily because he recognized the work that I have done in really enriching the cultural aspect of New York City.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. Can you tell us, what are you most proud of with Culture Tree to date?
There's various things I'm very proud of. The most exciting moment, and this might sound a little corny, but it's not, it's very genuinely felt. The most rewarding moment for me is when I am with children. I enjoy teaching. If I had followed my real calling when I was a kid, I would have been a teacher right from the beginning. So when kids are embracing their culture or other cultures and really excited about what we are telling them about, or if say one child, like I just recently had an event at New York Public Library, and I started with a countdown in Hindi. Why not?
Yeah.
And there was one child, he just, we started counting down, and he came up and started counting in Hindi. So those are the rewarding moments for me, because I see it firsthand how excited children can get about their heritage, about their cultures, about their languages. And I feel, even my teachers, I have amazing teachers. For them also, that is the most rewarding thing. Seeing it firsthand, what difference they are making around them, and especially in children.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, again, firsthand as a parent, when my daughter gets to learn firsthand about Diwali, or go, from the Mandir, or any of that, Navratri stuff, and goes to Garba, she loves it. So I can completely relate.
Yeah. One other small example I'll give you is I'd gone to Dunkin' Donuts, and with my older son, and then the guy at Dunkin' Donuts, he said, "Are namaste, kaise ho?" And then to my son, and my son said, "Main theek hu." And I was like, oh my job is done.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Amazing. Now let's talk about where Culture Tree is headed. What are some of your goals for the organization, next year and beyond?
Yeah. So right now our language, so we do two key pillars for the Culture Tree. One is language education, and we focus on 4 languages from South Asia, and then Hindi, Urdu, Gujarati, and Punjabi. And then the second pillar is cultural programming. So right now, our language business is almost kind of doing its own thing because, we have established curriculum. I have amazing teachers who are just very driven. So I do want to, and that is all over North America, but I do want to increase the penetration in some other regions in America that over-index with South Asians. And our classes are in person in New York area and then virtual all the other places. So that is one of the focus areas. Our cultural programming is really robust in the tri-state area of New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. But the goal is to expand it geographically. And that's one of the goals. The second goal is I want to go beyond. In America, I want to go beyond just, those token festivals where our culture comes in. Sure. It is very important because when our child is celebrating Raksha Bandhan, we want people to understand what they're doing. If they're seeing a Rakhi, they view it as like, what is going on? It's so foreign. It's, religious, this, it's that. So we do want to start engaging with institutions on aspects that they don't know about from our cultures.
Sure.
The other goal, which is an omnipresent goal throughout, is showcase the diversity that exists in India specifically and South Asia. And I always, whenever I say culture, I'm always referring to plural because it's all the cultures. It's too much going on. It's probably the most diverse country in this world. So again, just showcasing that diversity through programs that represent different religions, different regions from India. I'm from North India. I always gravitate towards North Indian stuff.
Sure.
But I am also making that effort. We've had celebrations last year on Buddha Jayanti, Jain Mahavir Jayanti. So we are moving in that direction. But that is an important thing we are focusing on. And the third thing is just products, like introducing products that basically are important for our kids, the Indian American or the South Asian American kids, but then also kids in general, so that they understand various aspects of our culture. I launched 2 books last year. This year, my 3rd book is launching. It's called I Am a Lotus. It's about lotus flower, and it teaches resilience. Again, just bringing in different aspects of our culture that are not even discussed, or people just don't know about it. And then with Department of Education, they became my client last year. I feel sky is the limit.
Absolutely.
Because, we can do curriculum design, not just programming. We are known for cultural programs that we host.
Sure.
But we want to go beyond that. If there is curriculum that talks about Mahatma Gandhi or about various festivals, I think it's going to be so turnkey. Teacher training is the other thing. Like we can train teachers about Diwali. Diwali is a public school holiday this year.
Yes, it is.
Teachers should know about it, so we can do. So we want to, do things smart, and we want to put our effort in things that are, much more exponential in their impact.
Amazing.
Too much to do.
Yeah, like you said, right? The sky's the limit, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see Culture Tree all over the country.
Yeah.
Okay, now I know you have a big Holi event coming up in New York. So before we get to that, if you could celebrate Holi anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
It would be India. The Holi we celebrated when I was a child was just, memories are etched into my brain.
Core
It
memories, yeah.
was, beautiful celebration. Different aspects, holy celebration is for two days, and starting with the bonfires
Sure.
that start on Choti Holi, leading up to, for me, it was filling balloons with colored water. Like we used to start
Yes.
at 5 o'clock in the morning. With the Indian taps, and then the whole water situation in our small town when we had
Yeah.
only for 1 hour, but we were like always filling the balloons, and then the water fights, the food, the community aspect
Yeah.
into different holy parties. There is the thandai, the gujia. Like there is just no one can match that
That's
experience.
awesome. I'm adding that to my list too, to visit
Oh my
Holi
God.
Holi in India.
Yeah. And then you spend most of the day goes in celebrating, and then 1/3 of the day goes in getting the color out.
Of course, cleaning up,
It's
right?
just part and parcel of the celebration. So no one can, that celebration is just out of control.
That's awesome.
But since I have gone through those amazing moments, I want our kids, our Indian American kids, not just my own two boys, but I want everyone to experience even a small part of that. And literally, like, this is where my creative side comes in. The memory of filling those balloons and then throwing them and having
Yeah.
so we are replicating aspects of those through our holy celebration at Seaport.
Yeah.
So it's
Can you touch? Yeah. Can you touch more about that and tell
yeah.
everybody
So
about that event?
we have celebrated Holi at Seaport for 3 years, and it has been growing. And now the diaspora, like I started getting emails and messages in December about the Holi from people randomly, like when is Holi and when are you celebrating?
Yeah.
So people are really, this has become the tent pole event for
Okay.
the diaspora, and especially for families, young families. It
Sure.
is
Yeah.
a safe space. It is very beautifully curated and tastefully done in the historic Seaport district. Last year we had 2,500 plus attendees. This year we just went live 2 days ago. We have 2,000 RSVPs.
Wow. Amazing.
And the event is on March 23rd.
Yeah.
We have a month left. We have
Yeah.
2,000 RSVPs. So it's going to be a very multi-sensorial event. We will start with Foods of Holy session.
Okay.
Because food is culture and everybody loves food.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So we actually, this year, we have it around the New York Times journalist and food writer Priya Krishna. She is launching her book for
Okay.
children. And so it'll be around that, but I will do a session on Foods of Holi and how the foods transition during Holi because of seasonal elements. There is like all this history and scientific reason that goes into it. And this will be on their oldest boat called Waver Tree, which has gone to India 3 times.
Wow.
So we will start with that. We'll have a tasting of Shahi Tukra, which is, an important dessert during Holi. And then we will go down to Pier 16, and we will be kind of our canvas will be Brooklyn Bridge and Brooklyn and East River, like just so beautiful. We'll have our puppet show called Colors of Krishna's Love, which has been created by us. And after the puppet show, we will have a dance performance. No, we will first have a countdown to Holi. So people will throw the color.
Okay.
Our drummer, and then we will have a dance performance, then dance workshop with our dholi, and then we will have a DJ that will play music, and people can play with colors. So we'll have a lot of gulal that people can use and play with, and then we have a lot of small businesses that will set up their shops. Because and it goes into creating the environment also. There'll be Indian food, there'll be golgappas, lassi, there'll be toys and books for kids. So I also want to make sure these small businesses are getting representation and they are making money and they are selling their products.
Sure.
And adding to the whole environment and the event. It's a short event. It's 2 hours, but it is jam-packed.
I love it. I feel like it's fully immersed with everything, end to end.
Yeah. So we are very excited. And then just coming back to the balloon fight, right? Like I told you, that was one of the big things. So here for our art activity, Seaport Museum will have a huge mural, blank mural, and each child will be given paintballs.
Oh, that's cool.
That they can throw on the mural and really replicate that experience that I had as a child. And then the mural will become our photo op screen.
Oh, that's awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, so tell people again, when is that happening?
That's on March 23rd from 11 to 1 p.m. You can find information on that on our website. It's theculturetree.com. Don't forget the. And we have several other holy events that are also on our website. But I think that one will be an event that if you miss it, you will hear everyone else talk about it. So don't miss it.
Absolutely. I plan on being there with my oldest, so I can't wait. I actually attended your first one when it was just a few hundred people at Seaport. The first year you did it. It's amazing. Yeah. So it's amazing to see you grow. It's amazing.
Yeah. And it's a very safe space for children,
Yes.
Because Holi can get a little rough, but here this is for the children. Although anyone and everyone can attend.
Oh yeah. And my favorite part was seeing all the parents being chased around by their kids with all the colors. All the kids trying to get their parents. It was amazing. It was great.
Yeah. So I would say one thing that I want, especially our community, to understand is that, the culture tree is thriving or making change in your kids' lives every day. Not just, I don't just say South Asian kids, but this will not happen without your help. I want the entire community to take ownership, to come up with ideas, and not just ideas. Also, if you have an institution that, or your kid's school that can have our programs, that goes into supporting us and making us do the things that we are doing. So definitely, connect with us. Sky's the limit for us, but there are limitations for us in terms of resources, funding. Like most of the institutions I work with have funding cuts, massive funding cuts, not just federal, but also state and city. So we need your support. And, I would say let's all bring our cultures to the forefront together.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I loved learning about Culture Tree and your background in the history. I'm so excited for where you guys are going. And personally, like I said, I can't wait to attend your next event. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And we hope to see everyone at the Holi event.
Amazing. Thank you.